from last event.
Wait, his hat says "Be a good person." Cratos is the ultimate troll.
I'm top 10 in every category. No other player can say that.
I'm gonna do this till 50, bro. Just at the top of my game, just getting better. Oh, it felt good just showing everyone, like, I'm not joking, like, this is what I do.
Actually going on, besides us, so, like, shut your mouth. All this, the whole community, for real.
In life, there are things that people love to hate. Game of Thrones has Joffrey, Twitter has Logic. In Halo, we have Cratos.
I think Cloud9 has been winning because I wasn't on a top team yet, and now that I've put a roster together, I think now we can have some competition towards them. Everything's kind of weird when you're like in this sort of competition where it's, you know, winner takes all. Like, why am I telling you good luck? Like, why am I wishing you the best? It's like, no, I don't. No, it's just me and my team, always.
I'm going to be honest, I think Cratos is really funny, especially when he's tweeting stuff like this. Messi, McGregor, and myself are all cancers. The 3 greatest athletes of our generation, or possibly ever, are cancers. Wild. And also for saying stuff like this.
Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna outlast these guys. I'm gonna be the LeBron James, the Rafael Nadal. I'm gonna do this shit till I'm fucking 50, bro. Just at the top of my game, just getting better year after year after year, bro. How's this guy doing it so long? How's he doing? How is he staying great this long? It doesn't make sense. They're gonna be talking on ESPN, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. They're gonna be talking about the greats, the lethals, the ogres.
I would love to see Cratos excel in the current Halo environment, because you just know he would go on an absolute rampage with his trash talk.
Just like watching or listening to Cratos is just comedy sometimes.
He's streaming?
No, he just tweeted out.
Yeah.
Tweet out, GG's to Tony Carmilla onboard Arctic. Made Arctic tap out because of his weak mental game. Easy peasy, dog. You suck.
Weren't they just teaming?
They were literally just teaming.
Now, while Cratos has actually been around for a while, my first introduction to him was this.
Seconds, and notice how he's just going to play this. He's going to play this super slow. Try to... Oh, the panic! Oh, my God! Choke is strong with this one. Holy God. I can't believe that, Maven. Your jaw is slightly dropped and you look like you're drooling on yourself. That was bad.
Ugh. I mean, we've all been there, but you hate to see it. Now, it's easy to be an internet psychologist. Personally, I think these days he's a bit more self-aware of the character he's built up around himself. But back in Halo 5, I think he was disliked for a reason. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning. Cratos, real name, now I'm extremely white, so I'm going to butcher this, Carlos Ayala. He's a professional Halo player, and he's the best player of all time. Oh what, you don't believe me? Well, explain how he got this overkill on Optic Gaming.
Back him up with one of my stories, you know. That's cool. You know, that's the real sign of a good duo right there. Guys, get yourself a duo like Tools, man. Always got my back.
Oh, this is about to be an overkill.
Oh my gosh.
Ah!
Kratos? Oh,
Ah!
wait a minute, dude.
Xbox record that!
Wait, he's standing
Xbox
still.
record that!
He's actually recording it. He's standing still. Wait.
The man is so confident he stopped playing to record the clip. That's great. Now, he's also got a bronze medal from when Halo was in the X Games. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Now, as taken from the wiki, Kratos' words and actions have resulted in him becoming a polarizing, controversial figure among the Halo community. That's an understatement. Now, Kratos has actually been competing as early as 2009 in Halo 3. I'm actually going to skip over a lot of his Halo 3 and Halo Reach career. I mean, he's got a couple seconds, 4th, 6th, but a lot of it's just kind of underwhelming. Halo 4 and H2A, also a little bit underwhelming. I mean, he got a few 5th, 6th, but there's nothing really standing out. There is one thing I want to mention from his Halo 3 career. On the Halo 3 side of things, Kratos competed on Team Down to Snuggle. Nice. Anyway, I want to talk about the good stuff, so let's get on to Halo 5. Now, I don't care what anybody says, Kratos was actually a really good Halo 5 player. I know there's a lot of, oh, he's only good because he's got on good teams and good teammates, but every person on the team makes a team. You don't just get first by getting carried. I mean, I don't think you do at that level. So let's talk about Season 1 in Halo 5. I actually don't remember if these were broken down into seasons, but I want to talk up to the Halo World Championship of 2016. Now, when he came into the Halo 5 scene, he actually started on Team Crowd Pleasers. It was Cratos, Suspector, Silence, and AA. I mean, they got 7th, which is, you know, a bit underwhelming, but if you look at the people who are also in the tournament, such as Ace, Elamites, the people who came first, APG, Frosty, Ares, they're all very good players, so it's not that bad. Things really started to take off when he helped form Team Allegiance. Now, in the first tournament, they did get 9th through 16th, which at first look, you might think, well, that's not very good. But if we actually click on the tournament, you will see that the team they actually lost to was Team EG, Evil Geniuses. Now, at the time, that team, I believe, it was Lunchbox, Royce, Nightdown, and Lethal. And at that point in time, I believe they were dominating H2A, and they were easily regarded as the best team in the league. And for this tournament, EG went on to win. At this time in Season 1, these tournaments were also single elimination, which is a little bit of a head scratcher. Not to take away from them, like 9 through 16, not a good placing, but they did lose to the people who were regarded as the number 1, and they went on to win the tournament. The next online qualifier though, 9 through 16 to 1st. Now, in this tournament, they did not play EG, but they beat the team that beat EG, so that's for something, but they actually beat CLG, which was, I think, at that point in time, the second seeded or second best team. Snakebite, Royal 2, Ogre 2, and Frosty. So that is a genuine achievement. And you got to remember that Cratos, like, while he wasn't new, his team were definitely seen as kind of like the underdog. So I'm pretty sure L-Town at this point was new. Suspected was still relatively like up and coming. Their biggest name was Nated. Now, as we look at these online qualifiers, so there was 5 of them. In the first tournament, they got 9 through 16, but then they went 1st, 2nd, 1st, and then 2nd. So they've definitely proven themselves to be a top team at this point. No matter all the shit that's been spoken, like, they are good. They then qualified for the X Games 2016, where they did get 3rd. So they lost to CLG, but they ended up beating Renegades. Now, Renegades, Ninja, Spartan, Stellur, and Victory X. Quite a good team. Now, this is when we get onto the 2016 Halo World Championship. Now, keep in mind, this tournament is worth $2.5 million, so it's a massive prize pool. It is single elimination, which is, I know a lot of the players were questioning that, but anyway, that was the rules. It's the same for everyone. Now, in this tournament, they came 2nd. One match I do want to talk about in this, Allegiance versus Renegades, because there's a really good video about this. It was a reverse sweep. Now, I'm going to have to set the scene here. Allegiance is down 2-0, so it's 1st to 3. They're down 2-0, and in the final game, they're down 2 flags to 0, 1st to 3. You cannot get any more back up against the ropes than that. Back up against the wall, on the ropes. However you want to put it, it's looking pretty dire.
After they kept the Sega flag, the comms died. There was no energy. Some of us weren't even talking. And I was like, guys, like, we can win this. Like, we got this. But after I said that, it was still dead. That's when I thought we lost.
I don't think the feeling could be worse than being down 2-0 in the series and 2-0 in the capture flag game 3.
We were playing next to perfect Halo, and then the moment we capped that flag, it's like everything changed.
Cratos off the respawn manages to pick up a huge double kill to keep that flag alive.
All of a sudden, the Allegiance guys have come to life. A double kill here from Cratos, and he's looking to rally this flag back for his squad.
I get a double kill, grab the flag, cap it 2-2, and when I scored that second cap, I screeched.
Great flag work here. Look at this, using the thrust, and here we go, just like that. Allegiance has tied it up 2-2.
I just want to point out, I really love his hat. Be a good person.
So dominant at this point, and we were honestly just choking. When you're about to get reverse swept, it might actually be a worse feeling than getting reverse swept.
We were like running around bottom mid at that point because we just had full control.
Nada gets a kill. He ends up dropping U-turn, gets the 49th kill.
He's got the game in his hands. 2 kills left for Allegiance, and he finds Spark Bombing. 49 kills to Allegiance and victory! Nada is the man right now! What a comeback from Allegiance!
And look at Allegiance. Nated is fired up, coming back from a 2-0 deficit there. That's the most explosive we've seen a team all weekend. This room is the loudest it's been.
That enthusiasm by Nated is actually scary. In that moment, what an intimidating man. I'm going to leave this video down in the description. If you're into Halo, or even if you're just a little bit interested, I would recommend going to watch it. They did a good job in this video, and it's really interesting. It goes to show that Allegiance proved that they're also a LAN team. They weren't just online. Anyway, we're going to fast forward. Fast forward to 20th of March 2016. Team Allegiance has their last tournament together. And then our man Cratos goes on to form the first ever Halo roster with Enigma 6. Enigma 6. Oof. This was, to be honest, as a spectator, a pretty fun time. I mean, it would suck. It would have sucked for a few of the players, but it was great to watch. That's the thing I love about Cratos. Like, he is entertaining. Now, Enigma 6 was actually a pretty stacked team. So their first roster was Cratos, Shooter, Bubu, Dubu, and Hook. So when CLG picked up Lethal, they became a very dominant force after X Games. So I think X Games was the first tournament CLG played together with their new roster, where they did lose to Evil Geniuses in the finals. But after that, I think they went on a tear. But anyway, Enigma 6 made headlines when they became not only the first team to defeat Counterlogic Gaming since X Games Aspen 2016, but the first team to even hold a lead over them in a series since that same event. You have to be good players to be able to do things like this. That's why, I want Cratos to be number one. Now, I found this article. We actually get a little bit of insight of why Allegiance kind of fell through and Enigma 6 got started. As Cratos says, 2 days after the Halo World Championship 2016, I left my old team after getting second place. I wanted to team with Ryan Shooter, and I really wanted to snag Jesse Bubu Dubu. I knew that Kyler Hook was going to be left without a team, so I reached out to him, and that is how the team came to be. So fair enough, he saw a goal and he went for it. Now, Enigma 6 were definitely the bad boys of Halo. People wanted to see them lose. This made their matches very entertaining. Rather than talk about their entire season, there's just a few moments I want to focus on. Like this moment right here. We can see it's Cratos, Hook, Bubu Dubu, and Shooter. It then becomes Stellur, Suspector, Cratos, Bubu Dubu. And then becomes Cratos, Bubu Dubu, Suspector, Shooter. And there's some lore here. Now, if I remember right, there was a video that went up basically making a bit of a joke about the team falling through. And I think in that they said that, oh man, Cratos, Hook is leaving to team with Snipe Down. And then at the end of it, it was like, no, we're just kidding. But I think that actually came true. I think Hook did actually leave to team with Snipe. God, I can't speak. He did leave to team with Snipe Down. But anyway, they picked up Stellur. Now, Stellur is still playing to this day, and I think he's in contention to be he's definitely in contention to be a top player, if not the top player at the moment in Halo Infinite. But anyway, at this point in time, Stellur is very much a up-and-comer, and has kind of solidified himself as a strong player. Now, you can see they entered a tournament and got first. It was a small tournament. I believe they were the only pro team to actually attend. There was another team there, kind of like a makeshift Elite Four. So that was Ryanoob, Straight Sick, Cloud, and Ares, and they beat them. I believe they were 2-0 down and came back to win 3-2. So it's a smaller tournament. They get some experience as a team, so that's why they went there, I assume. But then we can see that Stellur's gone and Shooter's in. So what happened here? Well, Stellur had made a post on the Team Beyond forums. Now, at that time, all the a lot of the enthusiasts / pro players were chatting on a forum, Team Beyond. Now, Stellur made a post claiming that he had been dropped from E6, citing salary concerns among other issues. The organisation confirmed the release of Stellur later that day. Now, despite Stellur's release, Stellur remained on the team's active roster due to ESL's team change rules. In the team's first match of the season against Optic Gaming, multiple incidences occurred, including E6 forfeiting Game 1 and Stellur being kicked out of the game. Stellur later alleged that his teammate had accessed his account in order to make this happen. Now, that was a bit of a dump of information, so what does that mean? Now, I actually found this thread on Reddit going over it. This seems accurate if my memory serves me well, so I'm basically just going to read this comment that this guy, Brentathon, left on Reddit 8 years ago. The short version. Cratos offers Suspector and Stellur a spot on E6 with a higher salary, $2,500 a month. Now, that was more than any other team had and was offering at that point in time. Stellur agreed to leave Eco because of the high salary. They were provided with contracts. Then a few days later, E6 went back on it and said only Bubu and Cratos earned those high contracts, and Stellur and Suspector would only be paid $1,500. Obviously, Stellur was pissed and said, no. So after E6 tried to force Stellur out and trick their way into playing their league matches with a sub, Stellur was left out of their Skype call for the first series in Pro League this season. After winning their second series, Cratos went on in an interview to tell the whole community to shut their mouths about the situation. There's a lot to digest there, but basically Stellur was invited in, offered a higher salary, realized it wasn't a higher salary, Stellur wanted to leave. Due to contracts and stuff, he stayed on a team. I believe there is a rumor, I don't know if it's confirmed, that someone... I'm going to butcher this a bit, so I would highly encourage anyone who remembers properly to comment down below, but if I remember right, there was one match where Stellur was in there and then he left, and it was suspected that someone had logged into his profile, made them play the game and then forfeited, otherwise E6 would have lost points to not attending the tournament. I'm not sure, I think that's correct, let me know if I'm wrong. However, this situation did create this legendary interview.
To it. If you had to guess who's going to be, let's go with Bubu Dubu. Yeah, Bubu Dubu. Can you hear me? Are you there, dude?
It's Cratos, man. What's up?
Oh, Cratos.
Oh, man.
You know, we're not disappointed. We wanted to get the Cratos interview, so we're happy to see you, man. You really stepped it up in that series. You only had 4 kills in the beginning of Truth CTF. Where was the turning point for you? Were you just like, screw this, we're not losing, I'm going in?
Well, Suspector came over, and like my connection is not handling it good. We were like lagging the whole series, so I literally just stopped using my pistol. I just started using like assault rifles and stuff, and then it was just easy after that, I guess. At first, I want to say give a shout out to Enigma 6. They're taking so much shit right now, and like they haven't done anything but treat us so well. Like you guys, no one here like knows what's actually going on besides us. So like, shut your mouth. The whole community, for real.
Well, I mean, that's really on you guys for keeping your business under wraps. People are going to talk about it. That's our job. But, you know, how did it feel to come back after losing yesterday and to win today? You guys started off last season very slow and then really picked it up. We know that you guys have the potential to be, you know, over towards the top teams. What was the big difference yesterday compared to today?
ESL didn't forfeit us game 1. I mean, that was the big difference. Other than that, we were just playing... I mean, we're playing not to lose at that point. Today, we actually got to play all 3 matches, so obviously we're going to win.
All right. Well, so you're coming off of this win here now. Of course, we had the rough start to the season before on that day 1. But now that you've seen all the teams kind of play it out and you were just able to go up head-to-head against the Team Liquid, you know, where do you see this new Team Liquid squad falling as far as, you know, if you had to consider a power rankings kind of schedule?
I don't know. I would say like CLG's at 1, we're at 2. Then it's like NV, Liquid, and who's the other team?
Luminosity.
Aided's team.
Luminosity,
yeah. They're gonna do like 3, 4, 5.
Gotcha.
So we'll see.
We're kind of seeing the same kind of predictions here and from the community as well. But Cratos, definitely want to congratulate you on your first win of the season here, to you and your team. We definitely understand there's been a lot going on. We hope it all works out for you guys and you're able to continue the season here and have a successful run to finals.
All right, shout out to E6. Peace.
Now, needless to say, this whole situation formed some bad blood between Cratos and Stellur.
I don't want to consider him my ex-teammate or anything. He's the reason we haven't practiced, and we didn't practice for over a month. So yeah, we were 3-3 with him, but that was just because we're just good. We're just talented. We never practiced. We literally didn't scrim. My team didn't scrim for a month. So I know it feels good sending Stellur back to relegations. That's where he belongs. He thought he was the best player in the world, but have fun in 7th, man.
This Twitter comment sums it up really well. We need more players like Cratos. He builds rivalries. That's what Halo needs. Now, during the fallout from the Stellur incident, Enigma 6 were fined 5% of their season earnings by ESL due to misconduct, and Cratos was fined an additional 5% for personal misconduct. But the E6 drama does not end with Stellur. Oh no, we are getting on to the juiciest bit. I found this article interviewing Cratos when they qualified for Worlds under Pnda Gaming. There was a question in this interview that I like, and I'm definitely going to expand on this, but after the E6 breakup, has any bad blood formulated between you and any of the other players? I mean, Bubu is my little bro, he was part of my family for like a year and a half, so I have no problems with him. Suspector and I still talk and hang out, even though he backstabbed me so he could join the best team outside of Optic and Envious and win Worlds, but he's still chill. Shooter, on the other hand, is probably the biggest snake I've ever met in my life. What he did to me is more than just a game, and for that, I will never forgive him. And the only reason I hope he does well is because Bubu is on his team for now. Can you go a bit deeper on what exactly Shooter did to you? No. So what happened with Enigma 6? Before I discuss that, we need to understand how Pnda gaming came about. Now, in these Halo 5 tournaments, there is a championship bracket. For a team to hold onto its seed, a team that qualifies must have at least 2 of the original members that achieved that seed. Now, as taken from the wiki, in a controversial business decision, Cratos and Enigma 6 manager Showtime managed to acquire Enigma 6 Pro Seed despite only one member of the team and the manager being carried forward. Now on January 16th, when the rosters came out, the E6/Pnda roster was Cratos, Nated, Straight Sick and Nemesis. Now, to put it simply, what went down? The E6 coach, Showtime, submitted the roster with 2 original E6 members, Cratos and Dubu. Now, Dubu did not want to team with E6. I can't really remember why. It's kind of irrelevant. Maybe he just wanted to move on. But the fact that Showtime submitted the roster with both Cratos and Dubu meant that Dubu was forced to leave the roster and he would have to travel through the amateur bracket and E6/Cratos would stay in the pro bracket. Now, during Halo 5, team changes and submissions were always up to the manager, and managers were usually coaches, but anyway, on E6 the manager was Showtime, who was also the team coach. So yeah, Bubu had no intention to play with Cratos, but they wanted to hold on to their championship seed, so Showtime submitted the roster with Bubu and Cratos. Bubu was then like, nah dog, I don't want to play with you man, and then he had to leave. But at that point, because the roster was already submitted, E6 held on to that seed. Now, Shooter actually provided a lot of context for the situation on the Team Beyond forums, but unfortunately, Team Beyond forums have gone down, so I am going to be taking some comments that have been archived in Devious Grunt Alliance's video. Go watch the full thing if you're interested. I mean, it's just a bit of history at this point in time, but anyway, the important bits. Now, Shooter said, to keep it short, since Bubu and Cratos were both under contract, E6 has 2 players' rights to their right to have a pro league spot, meaning they can control what happens with the spot. Now the thing is that both Shooter and Dubu left to team with Problem Solvers, I believe it was. That was Ryan Noob, and I can't remember who the 4th was. But basically the argument was that the pro spot should have been held onto by Bubu and Shooter, since they're 2 players who were originally with E6 who held onto the spot. Long story short, it seems like Showtime and Cratos kind of did a little bit of a sneaky and figured out a way to hold onto their pro seed spot, so they wouldn't have to go through amateur bracket. I mean, it is a dog move, but it was within the rules. It's an exploit. I think the problem more lies with the way Halo ESL had set things up. They kind of, in a way, allowed this to happen through their rule set, and the fact that a lot of it boiled down to how managers wanted to run things by submitting teams. Look, it was within the rules, it's dog, caused a lot of drama, and it was really interesting for a while. Anyway, E6 basically became Pnda Gaming. The first tournament, they got 9 through 12th. It was, like I said, Cratos, Nemesis, Nated, and Straight Sick. But they eventually changed things up, and either Nemesis left or got dropped, either one, it doesn't really matter, and they picked up Denoxide. Now, Denoxide is an extremely talented Halo player, but from what I've read, he's a degenerate, like an absolute loser, so it is what it is. Good Halo player, person. They became the bad boys of Halo again. They had some good placings where, 5th through 8th, they got 1st in the 4th qualifier 2017. And then they got 4th in the Halo World Championships 2017 regional finals. Now, I'm not too sure what happened, but at the Halo World Championship 2017, they went under crowd pleasers where they got 7th through 8th. And after that, things just kind of settled down a little bit. I mean, he keeps competing under ERA in Halo 5, some seconds in Halo H2A, in Infinite. He's, there's a couple firsts in some smaller tournaments, so he's still around, but definitely not as much. Things kind of just die off. So what is Cratos doing now? Well, I think not too much. I mean, he's still active on Twitter. I know he streams every now and then over at twitch.tv/Cratos, so if you want to support him /go watch, go there. I support it. But I would love for him to come back and just get top 4 in a tournament. Just somehow. Please do it. It would be so funny. He's an interesting guy. He was definitely the bad guy in Halo 5, but at the end of the day, as he says himself, when I put down the controller, I'm just a human with feelings and thoughts. Enjoy your day.